Today is going to be a great day. I am Nikki G, your host. Welcome to the Lone Doctrine, the food for thought exploration station, and your place in making today better than yesterday. This month, we've explored many different angles of our topic of the month, turning I can't into I can. What might be causing the can't? How to get through the can't and wrap this month up. I wanted to give you actionable and practical tools you can implement today. You might find one or more that resonate with you, or you might want to try them all. No matter what, life is never just one thing, and it changes. What might work for you now might not work for you in the future. You might think, well, then what's the point? The point is you're worth it. You're worth taking those steps to find what works for you and to keep stepping all throughout life, because the fact of the matter is life is change. So let's dive into it and see what actions we can take to make today better than yesterday. Some of these you may have heard of before. Some may already be working for you. But if there ends up being even just one more thing you can implement, it's worth a listen. You may also want to ask yourself, how many of these have you actually put into action? So number 1, do your best to banish your inner critic. This may take time, more time than we're willing to admit. It may end up become ongoing. The fact is, the more you recognize that your critic is coming in loud and clear, the better you can negotiate through those negative thoughts. One way is to give yourself 2 positives for every negative. I can't just change and be a super positive person. I've always seen the glass half empty. But I can start to work a little bit at a time, knowing that even the small steps will keep me on the right track of where I want to be. And if I maintain a growth mindset while being realistic about the actions I can take, I'll feel more able to eventually see the glass half full than half empty. 2 positives for every negative. Number 2, find an accountability partner. I say this all the time, and it is the most helpful thing you can do. I really like this one, and I enjoy hearing people's experiences around exploring this method. Your accountability partner will help you. It could be for a week, a month, to rid yourself of I can't. Here's an example of how it works. You make a deal with your accountability partner, with someone you're comfortable with, like, every time I say something around the meaning of I can't or something negative, I will owe you a penny. I've had people get up to $1, but that could add up surprisingly fast for some. So I suggest to start with a penny. Let's say you decide a week, passes through, and every time you said I can't or something negative, you'll start to visually see how many times throughout even a day you're bombarded with the I can'ts. If you are a visual person, this is the best. I had one person tell me that in one day he had 50 pennies, and he was so perplexed, and he had no idea that much negativity filled his day. Sometimes our thoughts pass in and out so fast, we may not even realize we're getting into our own way. So try this out, and if you do, I'd love to hear from you. Just visit our website at lonedoctrine.com and send me a message. I read every message personally, and I respond to them all. Number 3. This one may seem obvious, may even seem like, well, that may not work, but in the long run it does, because our minds need to create new habits, and habits are created by repetition. It's as simple as this. When you catch yourself saying, I can't, immediately respond with, I can. Even if at first it's hard, even if you don't believe yourself, just say it. Say it out loud. Say it in your head. But get in the habit of hearing yourself say, I can. Number 4, write down the whys. When you find yourself saying you can't about something, take a few minutes to write down the reasons why you can't. They may be opposite from what you've heard. Most people would say write down the reasons why you can. This is important as well, but in my explorations, there's also great benefit to facing the hard facts, to facing our feelings, and understanding ourselves on the deepest level possible. So after you've written that list, most of what you've written down, you'll find doesn't hold much weight. Then, after you have that list, sit there and debunk every reason you can't, and then turn it into why you can. Number 5, sometimes when you're working on something, try to solve a problem or you're in the middle of an important conversation and it's not working out as you hoped, it's sometimes good to take a break. You can just take a moment to breathe, go for a walk, exercise, even just go and do something fun. This allows your mind the uploading, and sometimes rest it needs to come back into the situation with a fresh mindset. A moment can sometimes do a lot of good. Number 6, be mindful to ask yourself the right questions. Sometimes we're really hard on ourselves. I know I have been, and I would never be that way to anyone else. So why am I so hard on myself? Sometimes we have to step back and see what our inner dialogue is saying and if we're asking the right questions. Are you coming down on yourself, or are you saying things like, is there anything you could have done differently? How do you feel about what happened? What did you learn from this? What ideas do you have to get to I can? And last but not least, number 7, focus on your effort and celebrate the small victories. All the things you hope and wish to happen may not happen all at once. Great things take time, sometimes more time than we'd like, but it's that time that is so precious and limited that even when we stop ourselves from the first time of saying, I can't, it's worth celebrating. I'm not saying you have to throw a huge party, but take a moment and recognize the positive change. Then, when you face your I can't, and it turns into I did, celebrate, 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 because that is awesome. So as we close out this month, I hope you'll try one, even all of these practical steps in making today better than yesterday. Because the person who says they can and the person who says they can't are both correct. If you found value in the Lone Doctrine, we would be so grateful for your support. We've partnered up with Patreon, which is a place where you can help us stay on air and keep our doors open in supporting our listeners in making today better than yesterday. Thank you so much for your consideration, your support, and a special thank you to our current Patreons who make the Lone Doctrine possible. We hope to see you at patreon.com/Lone Doctrine. patreon.com/Lone Doctrine. Thank you so much for your consideration and support. It's because of our supporters we're able to stay on air, and we're grateful beyond grateful. Together we are better, and I hope to see you over at Patreon. And until next time, remember, you can keep fighting the good fight. See what I did there?